Do you want to make an espresso at home without breaking the bank? The DeLonghi ECP might be the machine for you. Hi, I'm Colin and you're watching Café-Lista, the channel dedicated to coffee and espresso lover at home. I bought this machine a few weeks ago and I used it instead of my Profitec. To be honest, I wondered if you could really make a good espresso with an entry-level machine at this price. To my surprise, I was quite impressed, and now I'll share with you my thought on the DeLonghi ECP. If you're interested in this machine, I put a link down below in the description. The ECP is part of DeLonghi's entry-level range, usually costing around $130 or 200 for Canadians. In the same category, there is also the Stilosa. It's a very similar model, and the more compact and well-known Dedica. In terms of design and functionality, it's extremely simple. There is a single button, turn it to the left for steam mode. To turn on the machine, set it to on, and when it's ready, the small green light will be on. Simply turn to the right to activate the pump or the steam. So no surprise here, everything is in plastic, though there is a little touch of steel with the cup holder here. So it's quite functional. The machine is really compact, 20 cm wide by 28 cm tall. It has a small water tank, 1 liter, which will empty fairly quickly. And you can easily remove the tank, refill it. Just make sure to press it correctly to clip it in place. The machine comes with 2 pressurized filters and 1 basket for the ESC pods. Here a nice touch is that you can store your coffee basket inside the machine by lifting the top. An important element to note is that the boiler is stainless steel, which is quite rare on this kind of machine. Also, the group here, when you will insert the portafilter, is also made of steel, which is pretty cool. It's offering some thermal stability. So obviously there is no PID on this machine, but it's a really good touch. You can let me know what you think of the video in the comments, if there is things to improve. And if you found it useful, you can just give it a like. The performance now. Even though the machine doesn't have a thermoblock, it will be ready very quickly. 30-40 seconds after turning it on. Even though it's fast, it's a good idea to turn it a little bit earlier and to let the machine warm up, including, as I mentioned, the group head. Another nice detail not found in other machines like the Dedica is that the cup warmer gets quite hot. The boiler is just underneath, and if you leave the machine on for 10 minutes, the cup will be quite warm. By the way, I'm preparing video on the proper use of the ECP and the Stilosa. If you don't want to miss it, you can go subscribe. But now, how to use the ECP. The DeLonghi ECP is an entry-level machine which could be great for starting in the world of espresso, but that doesn't mean you can't make good coffee. And you can use this machine in 3 different ways, which will really determine the quality of the coffee in your cup. I'll explain briefly here, but I will make another video on the subject. You can use the pressurized coffee basket that comes with the machine with a pre-ground coffee. You can also use a freshly ground coffee with the same coffee basket, or a non-pressurized coffee basket, which we will see can make pretty good espresso. Let's start with the pressurized portafilter and some pre-ground coffee that I bought just for the video. This is the most common and easiest use of the machine, and it doesn't always give the best results. The pressurized coffee basket stimulates the espresso pressure, but resulting in a coffee that won't have the same texture, the same aromas or intensity or crema as a true espresso. It might be okay and it's not too bad. It's alright also when your package of coffee is first opened, but it declines fairly quickly. Now let's use the pressurized portafilter with the grinder and fresh coffee beans. The big advantage here, even if we use the pressurized portafilter, the fresh coffee is going to make a huge difference in the cup. So you can buy good coffee and barely adjust the grind. The coffee here will be much more aromatic. It might still lack the texture and the body of a real espresso, but it's often a significant qualitative leap compared to the pre-ground coffee bought in a supermarket. Let's use the non-pressurized coffee basket now. I bought this one for the video around $30 or $40. Here it's a bit different. You will need a good grinder suitable for espresso, some technical knowledge of extraction, and it's quite easy to mess up. But it's the way that you can make a real espresso. Before buying this type of basket, note that it's not always easy to get a good coffee. You will need, as I said, a good grinder, electric or manual. And the good news is that there are affordable options today, such as the King grinder. I have the K6 here. Now we will have the particular texture, the body, the crema. So with a bit of an additional investment, you can make pretty good espresso. Let's talk about now cappuccino, steam wand. We can use the steam wand as it is, it's called a Panarello steam wand, and it allows us to make pretty decent milk drinks. This kind of steam wand tends to add a little bit too much air in the milk, making the foam a little bit too thick, lacking finesse. But we can also use the steam wand by removing the cap to make it behave more like a real steam wand on a real espresso machine. For this, you will need to froth the milk correctly, but again, as with the non-pressurized portafilter, we can make some pretty good cappuccino. What to think of the DeLonghi ECP? Yes? No? Should you buy it? For me, it's a yes, it's not bad at all. It does what it promises, and that's already good. Yes, it lacks control over temperature management, thermal stability, the steam wand power is a bit low, it's very plasticky. But for beginners or those on a tight budget, it offers some pretty good possibilities. It's always a leap at the beginning, and not everyone is ready to spend over $1,000 on a machine and a grinder, and that's completely normal. With this machine and a small grinder, you can quickly assess a very good espresso. Yes, the machine has limitations that should be kept in mind, but for the price, it's an excellent option. A question for you, what do you think of this machine? Do you think we can make a good espresso with it? Or do you think we should go straight for a model like the Bambino Plus or the Gaggia Classic Pro? You can share your thoughts just in the comments. And if you like this video, I recommend you to watch this one. I'm sure you're gonna like it. As always, have a great day. See you next week.